It's time for another HearTheGame.com broadcast of high school sports. At HearTheGame.com, our goal is for every school to have every game broadcast to every fan everywhere. So if you know of a school you'd like to see us cover and sponsors to help us bring it to you, send us an email to info@HearTheGame.com. Don't forget about our chat room. You can access it right from the player. Interact with us. That's what makes our broadcast unique. Also, if you take some great pictures with your phone while you're at the game, send them to photos@HearTheGame.com, and they'll be on our website in no time. Now let's throw it to your broadcast team.
3 claps, we're ready tonight. 3 claps. 3 claps. 3 claps.
They're coming in far and wide.
Hodge looking to pass, rolls left, looking downfield, players complete.
All fired up from the big pepper rally last night.
Here's Sullivan on the toss sweep, trying to get to the corner, and he'll walk in. Touchdown, Dogs! All right.
Teams charging the field, ready to get it on. Cheerleaders.
Platt looking for room. He's got some space. 35, 40, 45, one man to beat. 30, 20, 10, and he's run out of bounds at the 10-yard line. The Dogs will be set up first and goal.
Give me 2 undefeated teams for a crosstown rivalry.
The give to Platt. Cuts it up inside. Cuts back again. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Dogs.
Give me 4 down and 1 to go.
Now he's got it. Yeah, he's loose. Chad Platt is going to score. He pinball off the defenders all the way down the field. Touchdown, Chad Platt. 84 yards.
Alabama High School football Friday night.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome out to Athens, Georgia, as your WG Dogs prepare to take on the Gladiators of Clarke Central. Tonight's broadcast will be brought to you by Avalon Exterminating, Avalon Limos, The Sign Shop in Winder, The Barrow Journal, Anytime Fitness, Athens Regional Health System, and Solid Security. Chris Casey and George Crowley bringing you tonight's broadcast live. We're going to pause here for the playing of our national anthem. And tonight's national anthem being performed by the Clarke Central Gladiator Band. Chris Casey and George Crowley here live from Billy Henderson Field. And George, the Dogs coming in off a huge week, an historic week, as they finally break their 31-game losing streak, looking to make history again tonight as they are all-time winless against this Gladiator team.
Yeah, the visiting Double G Dogs in uncharted but welcome territory this week, preparing for a game, Chris, coming off a victory. The 31-game losing streak is over after the Double G Dogs pounded Cedar Shoals last week, 31-21. Dogs won in every phase of that game, but the offensive line in particular had its most impressive night, opening holes for a strong three-prong ground attack with Chad Platt, Shannon Sullivan, and Al Schotter all having big games. All had over 100 yards each on the night. Chad Platt was spectacular again, had a pair of long touchdown runs, also had a kickoff return called back for the third week in a row, called back after taking it to the house. So the Dogs will try to ride the momentum of a week ago, taking on perennial powerhouse Clarke Central tonight. Gladiators having a down season at 3-5. So the Dogs, as usual, need to establish their running game, eat the clock, and protect the ball. The Dog defense, though, has their hands full. Clarke has struggled record-wise, but their offense has put up almost 29 points a game, so they are potent. The Dogs shut down Cedar Shoals' ground game last week, and they'll need to do the same tonight against the Gladiators. Now, Clarke Central is struggling, going 0-3 in their last three in a brutal stretch of their schedule. They played at Heritage and led that one 17-0 late before losing the heartbreaker in overtime, 23-20. Then it was number 4 Gainesville on the road, and the Gladiators once again had a lead, 21-7 after one quarter of play, but that was before All-State quarterback Deshaun Watson of Gainesville heated up for 6 touchdowns. The Glads ended up losing that one 49-28. Now last week saw them lose their third straight, something they haven't done since 2005. They lost to Flowery Branch 24-13. But, despite their recent woes, Clarke Central will secure a playoff berth with wins tonight and a win in week number 10 against their crosstown rival Cedar Shoals. Clarke Central may be the best 3-5 team in the state, Chris. Their 5 losses have been to good teams. Their battles the last 3 weeks with region big shots were all winnable games, so that the Gladiators just couldn't finish. But Gladiators basically in a must-win situation tonight to keep an upper hand on Appalachia for the 4th and final playoff berth in 8-5A.
Yeah, the Gladiators really struggling last week against Flowery Branch, particularly on the offensive end. They actually had the ball at the Flowery Branch 1-yard line twice last week and were unable to punch it in. They had to settle for field goals each time. So just a little bit of an indicator without their star running back in Willingham, who we saw at his senior night here at Billy Henderson Field. Willingham is on crutches. As he is a senior, he came out to be greeted and honored as one of the 3-year starters on this football team. But just some trouble scoring last week, and as all teams do against Flowery Branch, just ran up against a tough defensive team, but only 151 total yards against that Falcon defense. So maybe an opportunity for the Dogs tonight to come out with an upset, since they do catch this Gladiator team. Call it the low point of their schedule after they have lost 3 in a row for the first time since 2005.
Well, earlier in the season during a 4-game stretch, they scored 43, and that was in a loss, 40, 35, and 37. So that was about almost 39 points a game for a 4-game stretch. In the last 3 games, though, they've just averaged just over 20 points a game. And again, that does have a lot to do with the fact that it's Flowery Branch, Gainesville, and Heritage, the 3 top teams in the region. But the Gladiators have been erratic all season long. They've played, though, again, I mentioned the tough schedule. The 5 losses have been against really stout teams, including Marist. They opened the season against Marist in a non-region matchup, and then lost a shootout with Central Gwinnett, 45-43. So they opened up with some stiff competition, and region play started, and they started out 3-0, beating Loganville, Appalachia, and Salem, but rough going the last 3 weeks for the Gladiators.
Dogs come in, of course, as we said, riding high after their victory last week. Coach Wagner says that one of the challenges is to keep them focused, to have them execute. And frankly, last week's win was the best that we've seen them execute and maintain discipline that we've seen in forever. Very, very few penalties. No turnovers that I recall. They were able to protect the football. They were able to run the football. They didn't shoot themselves. There was one instance where they shot themselves in the foot with a flag in the red zone, but it was those kinds of chronic penalties and mistakes that didn't happen last week, and we need to see more of that here tonight.
Yeah, it all finally came together. We got some breaks, finally something we haven't had in the past. We got some breaks and made some big 3rd and 4th down stops defensively last week that were huge. So, the Dogs coming off their best performance in quite some time, and we'll see if they can ride that momentum into tonight's 8-5A matchup.
Tonight's captains for your Double G Dogs will be number 21, Tyree Tanner, number 3, Chad Pratt, number 23, Al Schotter, and number 52, Austin Stewart. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, Friday Night Football. You are listening to Bulldog Football on www.hearthegame.com. We'll be right back after this.
Whether you're planning a trip to the airport, a wedding, or a night on the town, Avalon Limos provides exceptional personal service. Comfort and dependability you deserve. Booking is painless with no surprise expenses. Our driver will arrive early, dressed to the nines, and you'll be treated like royalty in one of our exceptional limos. Take your event over the top or just avoid the hassle of driving. Visit AvalonLimos.com or call 770-207-0677 to book today. Text the word limos to 68398 to find out more.
What does your dad's cholesterol or your grandmother's diabetes mean to your health? Family medical history is important to your primary care physician. If you don't have one person who understands your health information, make one of our primary care network physicians your primary health care resource and make a big difference in your well-being. To find a primary care network physician, visit barrowprimarycare.com. Proudly affiliated with Barrow Regional Medical Center.
Don't miss a single issue of the Barrow Journal. For the unbelievable low price of $15.50 a year, you'll get unparalleled sports coverage and regional sports coverage at MainStreetNewsSports.com. Winner of 8 awards from the Georgia Sports Writers Association, look no further than the Barrow Journal. Call 770-867-NEWS. That's 770-867-6397 or online at barrowjournal.com. You can also send the keyword journal to 68398.
Solid Security Services has built their company on biblical qualities like trust, integrity, and service. Technicians with Solid Security Services have years of experience in both personal and commercial accounts. Companies as big as Regal Cinemas and people like your next-door neighbor trust Solid Security Services for their home security and locksmithing needs. Visit their website now at solidsecurityservices.net or pick up the phone and call 770-733-5853.
It's getting colder, and rodents and other pests might be seeking warmth in your attic, walls, or basement. Protect your home with Avalon Exterminating. They've been providing industry-leading pest control service since 1998. Whether you need a one-time treatment or an ongoing pest control solution, Avalon Exterminating is your choice to keep your home pest-free. Call 770-207-6378 right now. That's 770-207-6378. Or simply send the word BUGS to 68398 for more information about valuable offers.
It's Bulldog football, baby. Here we come.
And welcome back as the WG Dogs have won the toss. They'll be moving from left to right. Dogs wearing their road whites with red helmets, black numbers, and black trim. And the Gladiators of Clarke Central wearing their red home uniforms, gold helmets, and gold numbers and trim. The ball is teed up. We're about ready to kick this one off. Back deep to receive for the WG Dogs will be Chad Platt and Shannon Sullivan.
And you can be assured they'll not kick it to Platt. Probably won't kick it to Sullivan.
And it is going to be a short squib kick that's going to go straight out of bounds, so the Dogs will be set up with good field position to start the game as it goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, teams have learned to not kick it to Chad Platt. He has had kickoff returns for touchdowns the last 3 weeks and had 3 of them called back.
So the Dogs will start 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Devin Johnson will be split out to the near side as the lone receiver. Double wing set. It'll be Shannon Sullivan and Chad Platt as the wings. Al Schotter is the tailback, as this formation was debuted to great effect last week. Hodge under center, takes the snap, gives to Schotter off left guard, and he's going to bulldoze forward out to the 39-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4 on first down, 2nd and 6.
Al Schotter had 15 carries for over 100 yards last week and